The war began without warning. The alien empire had always seen humans as a stubborn but small race. They thought Earth was too far, too isolated to matter. But when they pushed into human territory, they learned something new. Humans fought differently. They fought with heart, rage, and a kind of stubborn courage the galaxy had never seen before. The alien queen of the Clear Dominion sat on her throne in the war hall, her silver crown catching the cold light. Her guardian beast, a massive creature, with fox-like features and golden fur, sat beside her. The beast was said to obey no one except the queen herself. No soldier dared to touch it. No voice could command it but hers. That was the law everyone knew, and none had reason to doubt it until now. The war had taken many lives. The Clear Dominion had crushed human fleets in 3 battles, but something strange happened on the 4th. In the middle of the chaos, one human ship crashed on their forest world. Among the survivors was a man named Aaron Hall. He was no war hero, just a soldier who had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But fate had already marked him. The queen ordered the survivors to be captured. Her soldiers brought them into the courtyard, bound and bruised. The guardian beast watched from the steps, growling low. When one soldier shoved Aaron forward, the beast's growl changed. It tilted its head and stood up, walking toward him. The crowd froze. No one understood what they were seeing until the beast stopped right in front of Aaron and lowered its head, as if listening to his breath. The queen rose from her throne, her cold eyes fixed on the man. "What trick is this?" she demanded. Her voice was like ice in the wind. Aaron didn't speak. He didn't know why the beast had come to him. Slowly, almost without thinking, he whispered a single word to it. The beast's ears twitched. Then, to the shock of every living soul there, it knelt before him. Gasps filled the courtyard. The queen's elite guards reached for their weapons, unsure if they should kill the human where he stood. The queen raised her hand, stopping them. There was no fear on her face, but there was something else: confusion. Her most loyal guardian had never bowed to anyone, not even to her without command. Now it obeyed a human she despised. Aaron could feel every eye on him. He didn't know the rules of this world, but he knew he had just crossed one. The queen walked toward him, her armored steps echoing against the stones. She stopped only a breath away. "You will tell me how you did this," she said, "or I will tear the truth from you." The beast's golden eyes glowed brighter, and Aaron had the strange sense that it was waiting for his answer too. That was how the first meeting between Aaron Hale and the alien queen began. One man from Earth, one ruler from the stars, and one guardian beast whose loyalty had just shattered the laws of the Clear Dominion. The queen did not speak for several moments. Her eyes locked on Aaron, searching for weakness. Around them, the courtyard stayed silent except for the sound of the beast's slow breathing. Soldiers shifted uncomfortably, unsure if they were witnessing a miracle or a crime. The air felt heavy, as if the whole world was holding its breath. She signaled for the guards to take the other human prisoners away. None resisted. They were too shocked by what they had just seen. Aaron, however, was not moved. The beast stood beside him now, blocking the path of any soldier who tried to come close. The queen's lips curved slightly, but it was not a smile. It was something sharper. "You will walk with me," she said. Her tone left no room for refusal. Aaron hesitated for a heartbeat, then followed her up the steps toward the throne. The beast padded silently alongside them. The other soldiers kept their distance. Every step Aaron took seemed to dig him deeper into a place he didn't understand. Inside the war hall, the queen sat once more on her throne. She motioned for Aaron to stand before her. The beast sat at her feet but kept its eyes on him. "You spoke to it," she said quietly. "What did you say?" Aaron told her it had been only a word, a meaningless one, at least to him. The queen's gaze sharpened as if she was testing a dangerous theory. That word has meaning in our oldest tongue, she said. It is a name given to the first guardian. That name has been forbidden for centuries. Aaron frowned, unsure if she was telling him a warning or a truth. He asked her how he could know a word from a language he had never heard. She did not answer him. Instead, she asked another question. Do you know what happens to those who speak that name? She said. Her voice was softer now, but no less dangerous. Aaron shook his head. The queen leaned forward. They are either chosen, she said, or they are destroyed. The beast stirred, as if the choice was already made. Aaron felt a shiver crawl up his spine. The queen rose from her seat and stepped closer to him. You will remain here, she said, until I know why the guardian listens to you. She turned to her soldiers. See that he is fed. And watched. If he tries to leave, kill him. Aaron almost spoke, but the beast's head tilted slightly, and he stayed silent. The queen's eyes narrowed as if she had noticed. Hours later, Aaron found himself in a high stone chamber with no windows, only a heavy door. A soldier brought food and water but said nothing. The beast was not there. For the first time since the courtyard, Aaron felt truly alone. He paced the room, trying to understand why a creature from another world would obey him. The door opened again. This time, the queen stepped inside. She moved with a quiet grace, her armor glinting faintly in the torchlight. The guardian is restless, she said. It has never left my side for so long, and yet now it waits outside your door. Aaron met her gaze and asked if that bothered her. Her answer was immediate. Yes, she said. Because it means you are a threat I cannot measure. She stepped closer, stopping only a breath away from him. Tomorrow you will come with me to the guardian's ground. If it chooses you there, the law will bind us in ways you cannot imagine. Aaron asked her what would happen if it did not choose him. She did not hesitate. Then I will end your life myself, she said. Her voice carried no hatred, only certainty. She turned and walked out, the heavy door closing behind her. Aaron stood in the dim light, his heart beat loud in his ears. Somewhere beyond the door, the guardian beast waited in the shadows. Morning came with the sound of armored boots in the corridor. Aaron had not slept well. The stone floor was cold, and the air was heavy with the scent of iron. When the door opened, the queen stood there, flanked by two guards. The guardian beast was beside her, its golden fur glowing faintly in the light from the hall. You will follow me, she said. Her voice was calm but carried authority. Aaron walked out of the chamber, the beast falling into step with him. The guards kept a careful distance. Every turn in the hallway revealed tall windows showing glimpses of the alien city below. The buildings curved like the bones of great beasts, and banners bearing the queen's crest moved in the wind. They left the palace and crossed a wide courtyard filled with soldiers. Every head turned to watch them pass. Aaron could feel the tension in the air, like a bowstring pulled tight. The queen walked ahead without slowing. The guardian kept close to Aaron's side, its massive frame blocking part of his view. It felt strange to be protected by something that was not human. Beyond the courtyard, the ground sloped into a dense forest. The trees rose high, their leaves casting shifting patterns of light across the path. Birds with metallic feathers darted between branches, their calls sharp and echoing. The queen said nothing during the walk, but Aaron could feel her eyes on him whenever he glanced her way. They came to a clearing where the grass shimmered faintly as if it held its own light. At the center was a stone circle carved with deep symbols. The queen stepped inside and motioned for Aaron to follow. The guardian moved ahead of them both and sat in the middle of the stones, its gaze fixed on Aaron. The air felt charged, as though the ground itself was waiting. This is the guardian's ground, the queen said. Here, it will decide. Her eyes narrowed. "Kneel." Aaron hesitated, then slowly lowered himself until his knees touched the grass. The guardian stood and approached him. Its breath was warm, and its eyes glowed brighter. Aaron could hear his own heartbeat. The queen's hand rested on the hilt of her blade. The beast lowered its head and touched its muzzle to Aaron's forehead. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the ground beneath the stones pulsed with light. The symbols glowed, and a faint hum filled the air. The guardian stepped back, then bowed deeply to Aaron. Gasps came from the guards at the edge of the clearing. The queen's grip on her blade loosened. "It has chosen you," she said. Her voice was even, but something in her eyes had changed. Aaron stood slowly. The light faded from the stones, but the hum in the air lingered. The queen turned to the guards. "From this moment, he is under my protection. No one touches him without my command." The soldiers bowed their heads, though some looked uneasy. Aaron asked her what this meant. She told him the guardians' choice bound them by law older than the Dominion itself. It meant he could not be harmed by her people. It also meant he was now a part of the queen's court. The thought unsettled him. He was a soldier from a distant world, now tied to a ruler who had called his kind an enemy. As they walked back toward the palace, the queen kept her gaze ahead. "You will remain close to me," she said. "The guardian will not leave your side, and there will be those who will see this as a threat to my rule." Aaron asked her if she trusted him. She glanced at him once, then looked away. "I do not trust you," she said. "But the guardian does, and that may be worse." Her steps quickened as they entered the courtyard again. The soldiers parted to let them through. Aaron felt the weight of every stare. The guardian walked between him and the crowd, silent but watchful. That night, the palace was restless. Whispers carried through the halls like wind through broken glass. Aaron could feel eyes on him wherever he went. The guardian stayed close, its heavy footsteps silent against the polished stone. It was clear to him that many in the queen's court saw him not as a guest, but as an intruder who had upset a balance they did not wish to change. The queen summoned him to her private chamber. She dismissed the guards, leaving only the guardian at the door. Her room was dimly lit by hanging crystals that gave off a soft blue light. She stood at a long table covered in maps, her silver crown resting beside her. "The council meets tomorrow," she said. "They will demand answers about you." Her voice held neither warmth nor anger, only certainty. Aaron stepped closer, studying the maps. They showed territories stretching across multiple star systems, some marked with the sigil of the Dominion, others with the red mark of war. "And what will you tell them?" he asked. The queen's eyes flickered to him. "The truth," she replied. "That the guardian has chosen you, and that choice binds us both by law." She did not look pleased by the words. "You don't want this," Aaron said. Her expression did not change. "What I want does not matter," she replied. "What matters is survival. If the council believes you are a danger, they will try to separate us. That cannot happen. The guardian will not allow it, and the law will not allow it either." She moved a small piece on the map, marking a world Aaron did not recognize. She explained that the war with humanity had shifted. Rumors spread that certain Dominion worlds were questioning the Queen's judgment. Her enemies might use Aaron's presence as proof of weakness. "You will attend the council with me," she said. "But you will not speak unless I tell you." "Teo." Aaron agreed, though the thought of standing before alien leaders filled him with unease. The next day, the council chamber was filled with towering figures in elaborate robes and armor. Their eyes followed Aaron as he entered beside the queen. The guardian walked between them like a living wall. The queen took her seat at the central dais, her crown catching the bright light from above. Murmurs filled the room until the council leader raised a clawed hand for silence. One counselor stood and pointed at Aaron. "Why is a human here?" he demanded. "Our fleets fight his kind even now. And yet you bring him into the heart of the Dominion. The queen's gaze was cold. "The guardian chose him," she said. "The choice is law. To defy it is to defy the will of the first guardians." The chamber fell quiet. Though the tension was unbroken, another voice spoke from the shadows. "Or perhaps the guardian has been deceived," the counselor said. "Perhaps this human has found a way to manipulate it." Several heads nodded. In agreement, the queen leaned forward. "The guardian's will cannot be forged or bent," she said. "If you doubt that, step forward and command it yourself." The challenge hung in the air like a drawn blade. No one moved. The guardian's golden eyes swept the chamber, and even the boldest counselors averted their gaze. The leader finally spoke. "If the law binds you to keep him, so be it," he said, "but his actions will be your responsibility. Should he betray you, the blame will be yours alone." The queen inclined her head in acknowledgement. After the council ended, the queen walked with Aaron back through the palace corridors. "They will watch you now," she said. "Some will wait for you to fail. Others will try to make you fail." Aaron glanced at the guardian, who padded silently beside them. "And you?" he asked. She did not look at him as she answered. "I will not trust you," she said, "but I will protect you. Until the day I have reason not to." Her words were sharp, but there was something beneath them, something almost reluctant. They reached the great hall, where the guardian stopped, and lowered itself to the floor. The queen paused, then walked on without looking back. That night, Aaron lay awake in the chamber assigned to him. The guardian rested near the door, its golden eyes half closed but always watching. The palace outside was quiet, but Aaron felt the weight of unseen threats pressing in. He knew the council's warning had been more than politics. Someone in that room would try to remove him before long. The first sign came at dawn. A servant entered with food, bowing quickly before leaving. The guardian rose and sniffed at the tray. Its fur bristled and a low growl rumbled in its throat. Aaron froze, understanding immediately. The beast knocked the tray to the ground, scattering the food across the stone floor. A sharp smell filled the air, bitter and wrong. The queen's warning echoed in his mind. Moments later, the door opened and the queen herself stepped in. Her eyes swept over the mess on the floor, then to the guardian. She did not need to be told what had happened. "Poison," she said simply. Her tone was cold, not surprised. She knelt by the guardian, touching its head lightly. Then she looked at Aaron. "It seems they have already begun." Her words carried no comfort. She ordered guards to investigate, but Aaron doubted they would find the truth. Whoever had tried to kill him would not be careless. The queen studied him for a moment longer, then spoke again. "From now on, you will not eat or drink unless the guardian has tested it first." Aaron nodded, feeling the strange safety the creature offered. In this place, its loyalty was the only thing keeping him alive. Later that day, the queen summoned him to the training grounds. The space was wide and ringed with tall walls, the ground marked by the scars of countless battles. Soldiers watched from the edges as the queen handed him a weapon. "If you are to survive here, you must be able to fight," she said. Aaron took the blade, its balance unfamiliar but solid in his hands. They began slowly, the queen testing his reflexes with measured strikes. She was faster than any opponent he had faced before. Her movements were precise, her strength hidden beneath fluid grace. Aaron blocked what he could, missed what he could not, and learned quickly that hesitation meant pain. The soldiers watching murmured among themselves, unsure if they wanted to see him succeed or fail. The guardian lay at the edge of the grounds, its head resting on its paws, but its eyes following every move. Aaron felt its gaze like a constant reminder. When he stumbled, it rose slightly, as if ready to intervene. The queen noticed and pressed harder, her strikes coming faster. Aaron's muscles burned, but something inside him refused to give in. He held his ground until she finally stepped back. "You have spirit," she said. "That will keep you alive." longer than skill alone. She lowered her weapon and turned away. Aaron stood catching his breath, the weight of her words settling on him. In this place, survival was not just about strength. It was about proving worth every single day. And the Guardian's acceptance had only made the challenge greater. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the high walls of the city, the Queen called him to the war hall. She stood before a great map, her fingers tracing lines that marked troop movements. The war with your people is shifting, she said. There are whispers of peace from some, demands for destruction from others. She looked at him then, her eyes sharp. You may become the key to which path is chosen. Her words carried a weight that made the air seem heavier. Aaron did not know if she meant it as a threat or a warning. The Guardian entered the hall, quietly, moving to stand between them. Its presence filled the space with silent authority. The Queen's gaze lingered on it before she spoke again. Tomorrow we leave the palace. There is a place I must show you. It may explain why the Guardian chose you. She turned away before he could answer. The next morning, Aaron found the Queen already waiting in the palace courtyard. She wore lighter armor than usual, built for travel rather than ceremony. The Guardian stood beside her, its golden fur bright in the morning light. A small group of soldiers prepared mounts creatures with long limbs and scaled hides, clearly bred for speed. The Queen motioned for him to join her without a word. They rode through the city streets, past markets just beginning to open. Merchants glanced up from arranging goods, their eyes following the strange pair, a human and the Queen of the Dominion riding side by side. The Guardian moved ahead, silent but alert. Aaron noticed the way the people stepped back as it passed, their respect edged with fear. Whatever bond he had with the beast, they did not trust it. Beyond the city walls, the land opened into rolling plains marked with tall, silver-leafed grass. The wind moved in waves across the fields, carrying the scent of distant rain. The Queen kept a steady pace, speaking little. Aaron matched her silence, sensing this was not a journey for idle talk. The Guardian ran alongside them with tireless grace, never straying far from his side. By midday, they reached a ridge overlooking a wide valley. At its center stood a black stone structure half buried in the earth. Its surface was covered in deep carvings, worn by time yet still sharp enough to catch the light. The Queen dismounted and began walking toward it. Aaron followed, the Guardian keeping close. The air grew cooler as they approached, as if the place carried its own weather. This is where the first Guardians were bound to our people, she said. Her voice echoed faintly against the stone. It is older than the Dominion, older than the wars that shaped the galaxy. She placed her hand against the carvings, tracing the lines as though reading a language Aaron could not understand. The Guardian stopped at the entrance and lowered its head in a gesture of respect. Aaron stepped closer, studying the markings. And you think this will explain why it chose me? He asked. The Queen turned to face him. I think it will decide whether keeping you alive is a gift or a mistake. She stepped into the shadow of the entrance, motioning for him to follow. Inside, the air was heavy, filled with the scent of stone and something older. The chamber was lit by shafts of light filtering through cracks high above. At the center stood a raised platform with a shallow basin carved into it. The Queen moved to one side, letting the Guardian step forward. The beast placed one paw into the basin, and the carvings along the walls began to glow with a deep golden light. Aaron felt the air thrum, a low vibration in his chest. The Queen's gaze was fixed on him. Step forward, she said. He hesitated only a moment before doing so. As his foot crossed the edge of the platform, the light grew brighter. The Guardian turned its head toward him, eyes glowing like molten gold. It lowered its head, and a deep voice, not spoken, but felt filled his mind. It was not words yet. He understood the meaning. The bond had been made long before this moment. The guardian had known him, somehow, from a time he could not remember. The queen watched as his expression changed, knowing he had heard something she could not. "It speaks to you," she said. "That is rare, even for my people." Her tone was calm, but there was an edge beneath it. What did it say? He met her gaze, choosing his words carefully. "It said I am not here by chance," Aaron replied. The queen studied him for a long moment before turning away. "Then we will see if that truth brings strength or destruction." She motioned for the soldiers to prepare for the return. The guardian remained at his side, its presence now heavier with meaning. Whatever lay ahead, the choice it had made could not be undone. The journey back to the city was tense. The queen rode ahead in silence, her posture stiff. Aaron could sense her mind working through what had happened in the ancient chamber. The guardian kept to his side as though guarding him from more than just the open plains. The soldiers behind them spoke in low voices, too quiet for him to hear, but their glances said enough. By the time they reached the palace gates, the city was alive with activity. Messengers hurried through the streets, carrying sealed scrolls and coded devices. The banners above the walls snapped sharply in the wind. Aaron noticed more guards stationed along the main road than when they had left. The queen seemed to notice as well, but said nothing. Her silence felt heavier than words. Inside the palace, the queen led him to the war hall. The great map on the table was covered in new markings. "The council has called for an emergency session," she said. "Reports say a human fleet is moving toward our border. Some demand we strike first." Aaron stepped closer to the map, seeing the lines of movement. "And you?" he asked. The queen's answer came without hesitation. "I will not act without knowing their intent," she said. "But my restraint will be seen as weakness. They will use your presence to argue that I am compromised." She looked directly at him. "You may soon face them again, and they will not hide their hatred." Aaron knew she was right. The memory of the council's stairs still burned in his mind. The guardian moved to stand beside the map, its gaze fixed on the queen. She glanced at it briefly, as though seeking an answer it could not give. "Rest for now," she told Aaron. "You will need your strength." He returned to his chamber with the beast following closely. For the first time, he felt the palace not as a place of grandeur, but as a cage built of stone and suspicion. That night, the sound of clashing steel woke him. He sat up quickly, the guardian already on its feet. The noise came from the corridor outside. A sharp voice shouted, followed by a heavy thud. The door burst open, and a soldier stumbled in, sword drawn. Before Aaron could react, the guardian lunged, knocking the attacker to the ground. The weapon clattered away as the beast's teeth stopped inches from the soldier's throat. The queen appeared in the doorway moments later, 2 guards at her back. Her eyes swept over the scene and narrowed. "Take him away," she ordered. And the attacker was dragged out. She stepped inside, her voice low. "This was no accident. Someone inside the palace is acting without my command." Aaron asked her if she knew who. She shook her head, but her expression told him she had suspicions. She ordered 2 of her most trusted guards to stand outside his chamber at all times. The guardian returned to its place near the door, still tense. Aaron could feel the shift in the air. What had begun as political unease was now becoming open defiance. The queen's enemies were no longer waiting for the council's decision. They were moving now. The next morning, she summoned him again. "The council meets today," she said. "They will press harder than before, and I will not be able to shield you from their words." As they walked to the chamber, Aaron noticed the way servants stepped aside more quickly than usual. Even the guards avoided his eyes. The guardian's steady pace was the only thing that felt unchanged. The council chamber was full when they entered. The leader rose at once. "Your Majesty," he began, "while you honor ancient law, the Dominion faces a threat. The presence of this human among us undermines our unity. We demand his removal, Murmurs of agreement filled the room. The Queen's voice cut through them like a blade. The Guardian has chosen. That law is unbreakable. Remove him, and you invite war. With the Guardians themselves. The silence that followed was sharp. Aaron stood still as every eye turned toward him. He felt the weight of the moment pressing against his chest. The Queen's gaze was unyielding, but he could see the tension in her stance. Whatever decision came next would decide more than his fate. It would decide whether the fragile line between alliance and destruction would hold. The council chamber remained silent after the Queen's warning. The leader's jaw tightened, but he did not speak at once. Around the circle, other counselors exchanged glances, their eyes flicking between Aaron, the Queen, and the Guardian. The weight of tradition hung heavy in the air, yet the scent of rebellion was just as strong. Aaron could feel the tension pulling tighter with every passing heartbeat. One counselor finally stood. "If the law binds us, then let the human prove his worth," she said. "Let him face a trial by combat. If he survives, his place is earned. If not, the law will release him from our protection." Murmurs rose again, some in agreement, others in protest. The Queen's gaze narrowed. "You would challenge the choice of the Guardian with blood?" she asked. The counselor's answer was cold. "I would protect the Dominion." The leader nodded slowly, sealing the challenge. The Queen turned to Aaron as they left the chamber. "They mean to kill you," she said. "The trial is only a formality to mask their intent." Aaron met her eyes. "Then I'll survive." Her expression did not change, but the smallest flicker of something, perhaps respect, moved across her face. The Guardian walked close at their side, its golden eyes never leaving him. The trial ground was prepared by midday. An arena of sand and stone, surrounded by high walls and filled with watching eyes. Soldiers, nobles, and counselors gathered to witness what they expected would be his death. Aaron stood in the center, armed with a blade and a round shield. The Guardian waited outside the ring, watching intently. The Queen stood on a raised platform, her presence a reminder that this was no ordinary duel. His opponent entered a towering warrior, clad in dark armor etched with jagged silver lines. The crowd cheered at his appearance. He was known as one of the Queen's deadliest champions. The Queen's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. A horn sounded, and the duel began. The champion moved with surprising speed, his strikes heavy enough to shake Aaron's arm with every block. Aaron focused on surviving, stepping back, deflecting, and searching for an opening. The champion pressed harder, his blows driving Aaron toward the arena wall. A sharp strike sent him sprawling into the sand. The crowd roared. The champion raised his weapon for the final blow, but the Guardian outside the ring let out a low, thunderous growl. The sound froze the warrior for a fraction of a second. It was enough. Aaron rolled to his feet, driving forward with all his strength. His blade struck the champion's side, finding a gap in the armor. The warrior staggered, his weapon dropping from his hands. Silence fell over the crowd as the champion dropped to one knee, blood marking the sand. The horn sounded again, declaring, "The duel's end." Aaron stood, chest heaving, but unbroken. The Queen stepped down from her platform and entered the arena. She stood beside him, looking up at the silent stands. "The trial is complete," she said. "The human has fought with honor and survived. The Guardian's choice stands." Her voice carried to every corner of the arena. The crowd bowed. Their heads, the law accepted. But Aaron could see the eyes of those who would not forget this day. That night, the Queen met him in the war hall. The Guardian rested beside the great map, silent but watchful. "You have secured your place," she said, "but know this, your survival will not end their plotting. You are both shield and weapon now, and there are those who will seek to wield or break you." Aaron nodded. "Then let them try." She studied him for a moment, then turned back to the map. In the days that followed, the war shifted again. Messages arrived from the human fleet, requesting talks rather than battle. The Queen listened, considering what had once been unthinkable. She knew the Council would fight her on this path, but she also knew the Guardian's choice had altered. The balance forever. Aaron remained at her side, no longer just a prisoner of war, but a part of something greater. And so, in the heart of the Dominion, under the watch of the Guardian Beast, a human and an alien queen stood together, bound by law, tested by blood, and united by a choice neither had expected. They prepared to face whatever came next.